Moron Luddite has got his little gadgets back together. Let's see, what are our friends at the CDC? The Centers for Disease Control. The Center for Disease Control hid mishandling of deadly germs. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, among other things, also carries out research work on deadly bacteria, viruses, and pathogens which have been or can be responsible for epidemics and pandemics. Hush! Out of here! No! Jesus, this little dog. Alright. So, in part of their work on epidemics and pandemics, and don't forget the shit that can be used for bioterrorism, but it turns out that the CDC has not been exactly safe in its handling of some of these pathogens, and worse still, it has been hiding its mishandling. Yes, and among other things, this report reported on what it called a biolab operator, which has among the worst regulatory histories in the country, which includes everything from boxes containing potentially deadly pathogens gone missing to possible biological exposure. This is how your tax dollars are at work getting the Center for Disease Control to control diseases. I thought of actually leading off this rant with this next story coming out of Mexico. Mexico gas price hike spurs looting and blockades as unrest spreads. Anybody who does not understand that it is the price of a gallon of gas is perhaps the single #1 most important thing on clueless fucking morons' minds. You can fuck with anything else, but do not fuck with the clueless morons' price on a gallon of gas, or this is what you're gonna get. Mexicans angry over a hike in gasoline prices looted stores and blockaded roads on Wednesday, prompting over 250 arrests amid escalating unrest over the rising cost of living in Mexico. 23 stores were sacked, 27 blockades put up in Mexico City, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I could do a full rant. How many rants have I had over the price of a gallon of gasoline, setting off full-scale riots for the clueless morons? Alright, here's the annual story on this that we go through every year. Threatened bluefin tuna fetches $632,000 at Tokyo auction. A $600,000 price tag may seem mighty high for just one tuna fish. But if every torpedo-shaped tuna cost that much, perhaps the species would not be teetering on the edge of extinction. Yeah, so for this critically endangered bluefin tuna, which is still, what are they saying, 97% collapse in its population, these clueless fucking morons paying $632,000 for one fish to feed these clueless goddamn morons over there in Japan as the bluefin tuna swims off into extinction. What is Janet Jackson up to this week? Janet Jackson gives birth to son at age 50. Pop superstar Janet Jackson gave birth to her first child at age 50 on Tuesday. Janet had a stress-free, healthy delivery and is resting comfortably. From Janet Jackson to some little village in India, finally we get some good news from the overpopulation front. Village intervenes after couple refuses to stop at 17 children. While the world's most populous nation, China, has restrictions on the number of children a couple can have, which India, which is fast catching up with China on the people count, soon to become the single most overpopulated country on planet Earth, does not impose any such laws on its citizens. As a result, many Indian families do not see it as a problem to keep producing children until a boy is born, and sometimes an entire village has to intervene to halt the juggernaut. It does not give the details how the villagers convinced this couple not to go for number 18. And the fact is they already had a boy. So they can't use that excuse. Anyway, I'm hoping they intervene by holding the clueless fucking moron down on the ground and cutting his balls off. I'm hoping that's the way they intervened. Now, from overpopulation to, again, this was I almost did a whole separate rant on this year's Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. Good God Almighty, guys. With all of the ink being spilled on this one, I could have done an entire roundup rant on the Consumer Electronics shows. This is just, I just threw a dart and came up with this news story. These are the most incredible new TVs unveiled at CES 2017. Trends come and go every year at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. One year it's tablets, the next year it's wearables, then it's the Internet of Things, drones, and smart homes. But don't worry, we're just back to the good old TVs on display that make us drool uncontrollably. This year we have seen some particularly drool-worthy televisions shown off at CES. And in this post, we'll cover the best of the best. Okay, there is no question, and we mean none whatsoever, that LG's new line of signature OLED TVs stole the show at CES this year. These TVs are ridiculous. They should not exist. Science should not allow them. LG's new OLED TV is 2.57 millimeters thick. We will pause for a moment to let that sink in. And we're going to move from Las Vegas to Israel, where we see Israel's flying car passenger drone moves closer to delivery. After 15 years of development, an Israeli high-tech firm is optimistic that it will finally get its 1.5-ton passenger carrying drone off the ground and into the market by 2020. This is the Cormorant. The Cormorant, priced at a cool $14 million. From Israel, I guess, to the Caribbean Sea, as we see Carnival Cruise Lines turning cruise ships into smart cities at sea. Yes, Carnival on Tuesday introduced an ocean medallion designed to tailor trips to individual passengers by learning their taste and onboard habits, and even keeping track of their roaming children. So these clueless fucking moron cruise ship passengers, I guess, put this thing around their neck. This medallion, capable of whispering wirelessly to a web of onboard sensors. The medallions are designed to help cruise operators anticipate guests' needs, their needs, making note of, say, a favorite wine. The medallions let the crew know where clueless morons are and where they might be heading, helping with tasks ranging from unlocking cabin doors for guests to anticipating which pools or restaurants might need backup staff. Medallions also act as wallets, charging purchases to people's shipboard accounts. From smart cruise ships to toddlers. A toddler causes chaos in a CNN studio because that is what toddlers do. This one, guys, I had no clue what this headline meant. Congressman's teen son grounded after dabbing during swear-in photo with Speaker Ryan. No clue what, I am the clueless moron in here, so I had to read this story to find out what the hell